So I'm on my way to interview my grandmother, who's 98. She'll be 99 in a couple months. And her siblings, her sister Eleanor, who's 95, and Vera, who's 91. And I really don't know what is going to come out of this, but I thought, what an opportunity. You have 3 siblings in their 90s, still very with it. 2 out of the 3 still drive. It's just amazing. And I wanted to take the chance to document this. So I'm heading to East Aurora, New York, where my grandmother lives now. East Aurora is the home of Fisher Price, and there's also the Roycroft. Everyone's favorite is Vidler's. My oldest son was able to meet 7 out of 8 of his great-grandparents. He still has 2 alive. He's 17 years old now, and he still has 2 great-grandparents still alive. My grandmother and my wife's grandmother. So we're fortunate that there's longevity in our family. I wanted to interview my grandfather before he passed away. He died at 91. He was one of the remaining survivors from Pearl Harbor. One of the few left in the Western New York area. Unfortunately, he was not comfortable talking about anything. And I know that these 3 sisters see each other quite often. And I think it should be fun to hear what they have to say and how they interact. Hello?
I just don't understand what you're trying to do there, Andrew, kid.
That's all right. I think you'll like it when it's all done.
But where am I going to see it?
I'll show it to you on your TV.
Oh. Vera was supposed to be here at what time? Well, she was leaving her house at 1:15. Oh, she'll be here then.
How far away does she live?
10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Okay.
Eleanor should be here too because she
Went to lunch.
she's at lunch uptown.
Here.
You made it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got run out okay. He said you should have came next week, next Friday, because I get a perm. My hair looks terrible. Get a perm next week, but not this week. I think you can park on the streets.
Hi, sister.
Hi,
Come on in.
I made it.
Bring your shoes right in.
Well, a lot of times what I do is
Yeah, but you stumble so
I take
easy.
it in
I don't
the
want
kitchen.
you falling.
I go in the kitchen by the kitchen chair and I sit there and there we go.
Bring your boots up.
No, they look like that.
You're fine.
Doing.
Good, you made it.
Yeah, I made it.
All right, how we doing?
Okay. Now this is Bruce.
What's that?
Are you Bruce?
Andrew.
Oh, you're Andrew.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I know, I look like him. I'm old or whatever. I know.
See ya.
How are you? Just a note.
Oh, here she is. I didn't know you got here, honey. How are you? I'm good, how are you? This is our photographer. He's our producer. He's making a movie of us. This is Sienna.
Yep, I just met her.
Oh, you met her out there? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right, here she comes. We're going to have a board meeting. Okay, and
I don't get it. I haven't even seen your little brother and I haven't seen your sister in a long time.
couch. Oh, on the couch.
On the couch.
I pointed over there.
I'm the middle bird. You're the
Can't talk.
You're the in-between one. In-between? I said you're the in-between one.
It's going to take me a few minutes to get set up.
Now we can't do a lot of talking. Now what do we have to do?
Well, there's no rules,
No rules.
okay?
I don't follow.
And
rules.
remember, 3 of us are kind of deaf.
Oh my God, Eleanor, yesterday was a bad day. My cockatiel died last night right in front of me, and
Really? That bird that was in the kitchen? What happened?
I think he must have had a stroke or a heart attack. And he got on his feed dish, and he sat on his feed dish, and then he sat there maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I was talking to him, and all of a sudden he went down, and he just laid down. And he died. Well, I can't bury him now because I can't go out and dig in this snow and the ground being so hard.
Throw him over the bank.
Oh, no, I can't do that. No, because, well, I mean, birds or animals would get him. No. I'm going to just, Carmen said, well, Vera, what are you going to do? I said, well, I can't bury him now in the winter. And I couldn't dig a shovel.
Did you have a shoebox to stick him in?
I had him, and I put a nice little, I covered him up, I put him in the box, put him out, well, he's in the garage, you know.
Maybe he'll come back to life.
And then oh no, he's gone.
What's going to happen, Wallace?
What's going to happen with it?
Yeah.
We're going to see lots of lights, probably.
I'm not going to use lights. It's pretty good in here.
Oh.
So you're fine. I'm just going to use a couple of cameras just in case.
Oh, Lord, you're going to have one broken.
What kind of, you ain't going to interview us.
Yes, I have questions.
Okay, I'll tell her. Well, she can't. Why? What difference does it make?
I told him to come. I should have had it next Friday because I get it on Tuesday.
Well, look at me. I curled mine.
Well, I washed mine this morning, which I shouldn't have been shoveling. Joyce hollered at me. She said, what are you shoveling for? I said, Joyce, I had to get myself out. I still didn't get
it. It's all red.
Yeah, I know it. Back to you. She called me back. She said, Vera, I can't reach Ron. But then her son is named Ron, and he's a fireman. So she said, I'll text my son. Maybe I can get him. I tried before, and he didn't answer. Well, finally, she texted me. And she called me back, and she said, Vera, he'll be there within about 15, 20 minutes. So then I watched for him.
What'd he come for?
He just, well, to get me out of the, I was stuck. I couldn't get out of my drive. I couldn't back up. I couldn't go ahead. I had to stick there. Well, I can remember when Eleanor used to bother me, and I know I broke one of her dolls one day because I got mad at her because she used to be spoiled.
Oh, sugar, I wasn't.
Yes, you was.
I almost said something. And my aunt threw water on me once, but she told me in later years that I really turned out good. So that made me feel good. I went into my cousin Shirley's for a vacation, and she thought Sarah was just not a good name. It's too old-fashioned. We gotta give you, the nickname for Sarah is Sally or Sadie. Well, I didn't want to be sad. So that's when I started being called Sally. And then when I went to high school, of course that's what I was called in high school. But anything legal, I had to put Sarah naturally, and it was always spelled with an H.
And you told me to call you Sally, not Sarah.
And so it was the name that I'm sorry that it happened, because it's caused a little problems over the years. My brother would never call me that. And Vera doesn't either.
You don't either.
I
can't.
Sarah is my name according to them, but so that's where it is.
They didn't say Eleanor, I was called Einie. And my brother's name was Lester, but we used to call him Boy because I couldn't talk plain. And when I saw him come from school, he went by the window and I had never called him anything, and I said Boy. So then we called him Boy. He never was called Lester growing up.
And Sarah and I used to pick on her too, because we had to get ready for school and she wouldn't get her clothes on, and she was stubborn all the time.
I had to wear cotton stockings and long johns, and if they had a wrinkle in it, I didn't want the wrinkle there. So I'd complain. So I was a brat.
Sarah and I was little angels, I think. Where wasn't we, Sarah?
Yeah, you think you were.
She'd call down, Mom, what am I supposed to wear today? Mother would say, well, wear your little blue dress. I don't want to wear that. So poor Mom had a rough time with her. She was spoiled. She was a bad little girl.
But I turned out all right.
Yeah, she turned out to be
Aunt Bert
a
told me
good sister. I have two good sisters.
Quite a ways from any neighbors. We never had any little friends like they do today. We were way out in the country.
We didn't have no electric until we were
When I
was
left
18
home,
before.
there was no electric.
Yeah, I was 18 before we got electric. We had just oil lamps.
I was out married and had a son before they got electric.
We were raised on the farm. We had plenty to eat. He raised his own cattle. We had our own chickens. And every Sunday, every weekend, it was the same big, great dinner. Chicken and biscuits. And my mother made all her own
Baked beans.
bread and everything.
Desserts.
But we had we weren't wealthy, but we never had to.
We were better
Hungry.
off than the children are today. Because we appreciate everything. We didn't have everything, so when we got something, we appreciated it. Where now the children have everything from a cell phone to a TV in their room. So
Well, we really didn't have nothing. I mean, we
We'd
had a horse and buggy.
we'd go
We
to
used
the
go
church
down to the-
picnics, and we'd be given probably a quarter or 50 cents, and we could get an ice cream cone probably for a nickel.
we'd have 10 cents a week. I know I did. I don't know. I think we
I don't
had,
remember.
and we'd go down to Michael's store, and we'd have a big bag of candy because then you could get 10 pieces of candy for a dime or something.
I was a farmer. I was always outside with my dad. I was never in the house side.
She'd
I was
put
an outside
horseshoes
girl.
on her feet and walk.
No, don't you tell her that.
And pretend she was a horse. She put time to her feet.
Experience one Christmas, we naturally didn't have a car, so we had to go by horse and buggy. But Dad had a big wagon, like with 2 horses, and we got halfway there, and the horses couldn't go. The snow was so deep that the snow was up to their bellies. So if you ever heard 3 crying children, it was us 3. We had to go home. We couldn't go to Grandma Smith's on Christmas Day, and of course that's where everybody from Buffalo would go. You know what? If we got up on Christmas morning and found
I had a
Remember?
very
Very
little,
much.
like a coloring book, crayons, probably some maybe some fruit or something,
Yeah,
oranges. That was
oranges.
a big treat for us. Oranges.
I had a play watch once, and I thought I was in heaven because I thought it was a real watch. It was just a play watch.
Just
And I
nothing like
was
the
thrilled to
children
death
have
over
today.
that
We were
watch.
happy with a new colored book and crayons.
Playing cards.
And cards.
That's all we did.
Still do.
Play
Yeah.
cards.
And then we would go in
Still do.
the apple orchard, and we'd take a bag and we'd pick up different kind of apples, and then we'd play house that we were going on a picnic, and that would be our lunch, and if Dad wasn't
Climb the apple tree and the
if
pear
Dad
tree
wasn't
and
in
get
sight,
good
then we'd climb the trees.
and get good
And what
pears.
they used to
But
do to
once in a
me,
while,
they
once
used
in a
to
while
put,
we used to get.
no,
We didn't dare climb the trees when Dad was around.
what they used to do to me, they always wanted to play cards with me. So of course, I was the youngest one. So the one day we're playing different cards, and then they said, "Oh, you want to play 52 pickup?" And I said, "Yeah, let's play it." And they threw all the cards on the floor, and then I had to go pick them all up. And they did that to me. And then one day, Mom and Daddy went away and left us home alone, and they got paraffin and they melted it. And they were fooling, playing with it, and they saw Mom and Daddy coming in the yard, and they threw it in the sink.
We threw
So
it.
you can imagine what had happened in the sink?
Well, that was when Mom and Daddy went to a funeral.
They went
wouldn't let
somewhere.
us go to a funeral, so I threw it down the sink. I
Somebody
remember
threw it
doing
in the
that.
sink.
We did that a couple times. Needless to say, we got a little spanking. But
And then Daddy used to, they would always kill our pigs, and then he'd make sausage. And of course, we had a attic upstairs, and we kept it on racks. And one day they both ate a lot of this sausage, and they got sick. Can you
Red
remember
dog.
that?
We used to call it red dog. It was like summer sausage.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It was
delicious.
very good, but they got sick. Because they used to do all these things, because I was the baby. I didn't do nothing.
Oh yeah, you were an angel with wings.
Tractors,
Very
all
nice.
boys' toys. I didn't want no girls' toys. She had dolls and all those. I had all boys' toys. I was like a little boy. I should have been a little boy.
I broke your doll once. Not me.
I don't know.
I think
I
you
don't
were
know.
my
I
dad's
think we
favorite.
were all
I think
treated the
baby.
same. We were
No,
never.
Mom and Daddy treated us all.
I never
I
got.
know that I was my dad's favorite.
We never got spanked. At least I never did. I don't know about my two sisters,
You never
but I
got
never
what?
did. Got a spanking. Daddy always had a razor strap.
I think I did.
And he said, well, you probably needed it.
And you had to do chores at home when you came home from school, or you had to set the table. You might have to dust, and that's what I had to do to go to high
I
school.
took care of 2 boys in the house and did the cooking and for Marie Shopper, and I got $4 a week because I quit school. I didn't want to go to school.
And that's why I said I worked for the neighbor. I did like housework, went and cleaned her house, and
I
I
got
used to have to
$4.
wash all
I
her
thought it was-
eggs. Yeah, I think I got $12 a week, and I thought I had good. I said, oh, I got a lot of money.
Yeah.
Actually, I was a personal shopper for 5 different gentlemen in East Aurora. They would call me at Christmas and say, I want to spend $400 or $500. And then I would know the wives because I'd wait on them. So then I'd go around the store. I was a personal shopper and I just loved it. I would spend their money, and then Christmas Eve or Christmas day before Christmas, they would come in and all their gifts would be all wrapped for them to go, and then they'd have to pay for them. That was one of my favorite things to do. One day a little lady came in. She was probably a size 5 or 6, and she wanted a raincoat. So we go over to the rack, and I started with the tiniest one I had, like a 3. Oh no, she said, I have to have a 12. And I said to her, oh mercy me, you can't put a... She insisted I had to put that size 12 raincoat on her. And I said to her when she left, she bought it. I said, please don't tell anyone who waited on you, because honest to God, it was really funny to see how horrible she looked in that raincoat.
I used to put school buses together. I fixed the airplanes that they used to have. I used to have to put the tops on the school buses. And then I used to work what they call the lines, and then it was it was moving, and then you'd have to get to your part, and you'd have to try to get your nail or whatever you had to put on the cover, and then it would go to the next one. Walked 2 miles.
2.5 miles. That's why I walk fast now, and she hollers at me. I said, I can't walk slow. I walk like I'm drunk. I have to walk fast. And Bob, he walks slow, so he's a half a mile behind me. She's always, walk with Bob, help him. I can't.
We walk over 2 miles to school every morning, both.
Yeah.
We always walk.
Which one? I had 3 husbands. I was at a Tupperware party when I went, Bob. And I had he always tells everybody I had high white boots on because I went to a Tupperware party. I wasn't looking for anybody that night.
I met mine on a motorcycle down in Merle.
I met Bill during the war. He was in the service. I didn't know him in high school. He was 2 years ahead of me in high school. And he was in the class of 34 and I was the class of 36. So he came home from the service. So he asked if I would write to him. And we had that first night. And I said to him, I will write to you, yes, if you answer me and write to me. So we started writing back and forth. And that's how.
But you were a waitress and you met Bill at the bar.
Hmm?
Harold's Hotel. That's where you
I was working there. I met him at your house. You had him for dinner.
Oh.
That was
I
the first
know
time
you
I
saw-
met
I
him.
used to be with him at the bar, at the Harold's Hotel where she worked.
Well, are you going to tell it or am I?
Well, I don't want you to forget that part.
When Pat was probably, she might have been 5 years old, she hid in the coal bin. We had a coal bin downstairs, and she was mad. We were going to, I don't know, corrected her for something, and so she was going to run away. Oh, good Lord, I'll never forget that day. We were about to call the police when we finally, I don't know what made us go in the basement. Here she is in the coal bin. She was going to run away from home. It was another little episode. So Bill got the little suitcase, her school bag, and put some heavy books in it. And when she started to go, he said, here, you better take this. You might need it. So So she gets up the road, and it was so heavy. She got up the street. She came back home. I guess I won't run away today. Oh, that was terrible. It was
I don't remember.
terrible tragedy.
Where was that?
No one heard from Bill until that happened December and until January, before anybody knew whether he was dead or alive. It's a much troubled world. It's not like it was when I was a little girl.
Yeah.
It's too much. Everything is way
Too fast.
way out of line. We never had to worry if our children went over to the park and without any supervision. It's too much to have to bring children up in this world. It's a very troubled world. So much going on that I'm glad I'm on the other end of it instead of trying to start a family.
That would take all day to tell.
Well, I've had a very happy life. I've had wonderful children. I just figure I had a wonderful life.
Okay.
I did too. I
I
didn't live
didn't
without
have
my
to.
children.
I always played a piano.
Piano.
I had a piano.
You played
and
the
then
piano. You
I
played
had-
the
Not
player
me. I
piano.
thought he meant the children.
I said you played the player piano.
No,
I used
I
to
never
play a
played
player
any
piano.
instruments. I never played any. I sang
we,
far away
we had
too.
a player piano.
No,
Can't think
I
of it
never
now.
really wished for anything different.
Been lucky.
I've had a happy life, a good life. I
I
don't.
guess I was always satisfied with what we
Maybe
had
I-
and what I got.
Well, you know, if I were to say over the years, I think when you have your first baby, and then you're so excited about a first baby, and then you have 3, 4 more, I think giving birth and having children and have them all healthy and well, I think that's a lot to accomplish in your life. And to see your children grow up and be successful. 13 grandchildren, 14 great-grandchildren, and 18 great-great-grandchildren. And 2 more coming up.
I have had 5 children. I have 19 grandchildren. I have 26 great-grandchildren. And my oldest great-granddaughter got married. They're not having any babies yet. So I don't have any great-great.
I had 2 girls, and I had 5 grandchildren, two boys, 3 boys and a girl, and I have 3 great grandchildren.
I don't have a problem.
I don't either.
I haven't really.
We don't
had
have a choice. It's either that or what else. I'm thankful to the Lord every night.
That's right. That's what I said.
to be having your good health, to be able
Yes.
to enjoy life, and to have all the friends that you have. I
Yes.
have many friends,
Yes.
and that's a very plus for me.
I don't think I'd want to go back.
No, not really. I mean,
I'm not ashamed of my age. People don't believe me, but
If I could go back, I would say I would like to go back probably 75, that my husband was still with me. I think that's where I would like to go back.
yeah, well, me too.
But I would not care to live my life over, but if I could go back,
yeah.
I think
Well,
that
they
would
have
be
Bill and
the one
Ken,
time I
yeah.
would like to be
As
back
I
to
said, I wish I had my husband
when Bill
back.
was alive.
Being healthy.
Being healthy, enjoying every day what you do, and I enjoy.
Well, I'll
I
tell you.
enjoy life. I play.
I think one thing is that one of my feelings about my living like I've lived is that most of my dear and closest friends were 10 and 12 years younger than my husband and I. We traveled with younger couples, and I never talked being old. For one thing, you just don't talk about being old, and you gotta keep your mind younger, I feel. that's one reason that, and you don't give up.
You don't
Say,
think it's
I
being
can't,
old.
I can't do that, I can't do that. I still do. People will say, I don't know how you do what you do. Well, I do what I want to do, and I don't say no to anybody. If somebody says, we're doing this, we'll do this, I do it. So that's number. You just don't sit in the chair and say, oh, I can't do that anymore. I can't do that anymore. I want to still do.
Can we get in the car?
You really do?
I do.
Well, let's go.
All right, let me put the cameras in the car. I got
Go up to Main Street and turn right.
You want
Watch
to go
the
down
car
to
back
Roycroft?
There's a car.
Go down Crescent and I'll show you where I lived when I went in high school. And that was one, keep going,
Oh, you're
that
pointing.
was one of the houses I lived in right there. I lived there when I was in high school on the corner of Oakwood and Grove.
I said, who owned that?
Who owned the house?
Yeah, who did you live with?
Adams,
Oh,
Clemens.
I forgot. Now, which way do I turn now?
When I started high school in 1932, Fiddler's was just starting as a 5 and 10. You can make it. You didn't want to. Now you can go.
Huh?
Do you like driving or is it?
Oh, I love driving.
Well, that's what he's asking you.
That's what I said. I like driving. I don't know where you want to go.
Here,
Okay, boy.
you're supposed to be going back home.
She don't want the lasers on. As long as you tell me where I want to go, I don't mind driving. I only got stopped twice, and then it was the one time it was my own fault because Joyce, she had hurt her surgery, and I was taking her over to Greenfield. And
Now here's the senior center where we spent
Here's
a
the
lot of
senior
time.
center.
Right there, that's
Right there.
Right here.
This is the fire hall and that. But I got stopped once in Clarence, and Bob was it was when he used to parade with a grotto, and he was in the back seat putting they had special outfits to wear. He was in the back seat putting his pants on when the cop stopped me.
Andrew, I got stopped driving just once. So he pulls me over, and he saw me making a signal that I was going to go left, and instead of that, turned it and went back. In other words, he thought I had been at that saloon drinking because he reached right over my phone to smell me, and of course I had not been drinking. So. Well, this is Grandma and Grandpa Wanghorn. That was taken on the front of the porch on Stoley Road. This is Mom and Dad. And that was taken on their 60th wedding anniversary. Over here is Mom's family with her sisters, her mother and dad. That was the Schmidts.
I think this was Mom. Or was that Mom?
Which is Grandma.
Grandma's here.
That's Grandma, yeah.
And there's Grandpa
over
there.
there, yeah.
There's Uncle Carl.
Yeah.
No, there's Uncle Otto. There's Uncle Carl. There's Aunt Emma.
I just wish and hope and pray that I don't give my children a problem at my age now, that I'm this age, and I hope that when my time comes it's quick and fast so that I don't have to be a problem to my children.
A bird. Me too. Me too. Can't say it. I know.
I had a good life. I don't think I needed to do anything else. That I was a kind, loving grandma.
Yeah.
That they always wanted to visit me.
She tells me she loves
Wasn't
me.
afraid of me.
Well, what do you want to remember about me, kid?
Well, I'll always remember that you're such a kind, loving grandma and that you do anything for anybody. And that you always want everybody to be happy all the time.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sarah. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, I'm smart. Yep. Isn't that beautiful?
We are just so delighted to be here today to celebrate Sally's 100th birthday. And we know that she will have many, 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 many more, right? There's at least 18 more that we have to have. Because there's 118 cars on the board, they said. So I know you have it in you. And there's so many more card games that you have inside of you. And we just thank you for your years of service and being available to the public and all that you've done, and we appreciate you for coming and being a part of the Stay Fit Dining Program. And so I'll just read this last part because people get tired of hearing all these proclamations. So I'll skip right down to the therefore, and it says, therefore, I, Mark Polenkars, Erie County Executive, do hereby congratulate Sally on this centennial milestone. I wish you a very happy 100th birthday and all the best wishes for the year to come. And this is signed by our county executive, Mark C. Polenkars. So once again, we thank you, we love you, and you can see by all the people that are here, you have touched so many lives, and so we thank you for being here for so many years, and we appreciate you, okay? All right. Now I'm going to give you a big old hug since we're recording.